Since most of the, at least LDCs, and even some other countries do not have well-established national infrastructures of standards, conformity assessment, quality, and metrology.
Multinational companies becoming more and more multinational, and the global supply chain enabling new avenues for the supply of products. If you add to that the e-commerce and e-business facilities to make orders all over the planet, there are great potentials for developing countries if they overcome these hurdles of markets and regulatory requirements. Now, how could this be done? I would say that it's a combination of various components. First is information and anticipation by entrepreneurs. You have to know to what requirements your products are liable to be exposed in the target markets, the markets that you are targeting. On this, we strongly encourage a collaboration at the national level between the WTO inquiry point, the information center on standards usually developed by our national member bodies, and the National Center for the Promotion of Exports, which is usually in relation with ITC. And we will be working with this on ITC is to reinforce this collaboration at the national level. Second aspect is, once you know what requirements you are to fulfill, is to be trained and to be able to apply them. So training, capacity building for companies to be able to implement standards and achieve compliance to requirements is very important. And the third aspect is to demonstrate to your customers that you have indeed fulfilled these requirements. So this is about the availability of conformity assessment services at the national level, and also a credible level of conformity assessment services, because they can exist in theory, but if they are not recognized by other countries, it is conformity assessment has no value.
Well, we export cell textiles in Mauritius, Madagascar, India, and China. We export yarn, woolen sweaters, knitted fabrics, T-shirts, woven fabrics, and shirts. So that's what we live every day. And as a group, what we face as a growing number of technical regulation and technical standards, well, mostly I would say private standards. It comes from the market. So for us, what is most important as every company is how the market pulls us to do what to do. And we in textile, well, it's led by fashion. In our industry, regulations, what is mandatory, we rarely discuss about it with the customers. Well, we have examples of regulations which is from 1986 in England, for example. But I will say that in practice, we talk more about private standards. And these private standards, I give you an example of Marks Spencer, where we have to be accredited, the lab has to be accredited, but here, for example, it's the personnel who are accredited to perform tests according to their standards. They have their own standards. But we must be capable of, let's say, giving evidence that we can comfort with the standards. M&S or Decathlon, for example, has their own standards, which are very stringent. Internal lab must be well equipped to be accredited, but it's costly. Personnel must be well educated and well trained. And conformity assessment by, let's say, SGS, Veritas, and so on, is very costly and time consuming. Sometimes they demand, well, results from a lab, and they test in SGS and Veritas, which is paid by us. And then GOT standard, the fellow standard, and RAP, for example, require dedicated personnel so that we can really implement it. And it's very costly. And certification too, I would say, conformity certification is costly too. So today's trend of the market in textile, unfortunately, it's a buyer's market, because it forces the whole industry to adapt and react effectively towards this requirement for export sector.
Enterprises need up-to-date information about the requirements in their markets, and it is difficult for them to keep abreast of these requirements. While working in the fisheries sector in some ASEAN countries, we found that although infrastructure was good, equipment and labs were available, the stakeholders were not well aware of the requirements for exporting fish and fishery products to the EU. After obtaining the right information, enterprises have to adapt their products to these requirements. Unfortunately, in many developing countries and LDCs, they do not participate in international standardization work. They are mostly standard takers rather than standard makers, and these standards may not necessarily take their specific needs into account. Some of the lessons we have learned is that it's very important to get the regulator and industry on the same wavelength. When we were doing some work in the fisheries sector, we organized joint training programs for the regulators and the industry so that they work in concert to meet the requirements to export. There are some things which should be done by the public sector, such as ensuring the traceability of measurements and the control of weights and measurements in trade, as well as the setting up of an accreditation body. The private sector should provide conformity assessment services related to testing, inspection, and certification. Both of them can be involved in standardization and provision of technical information.
Within the UN system, now all of us are trying to deliver as one program, one leader, and one budget. If you look into the slide which I put through, since from the 2001 and 2005, ITC delivered $109 million for the trade-related technical assistance. UNIDO contributed, then FAO, UNCTAD, WTO, UNDP. Together with ISO, the SARC, the South Asian Association of Regional Cooperation, again we are taking up the regional issue of the SARC integration. Involves India, Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan. It's a geographically and politically very difficult sub-region. So the integration will take. But in order to pave the way for that, we are organizing a workshop on good standardization practice and conformity assessment, looking at the regional dimension, covering the standards related capacity building in the SARC region, the role of standards and regional economic development, what are the issues related to the SARC integration. Are we able to set up a SARC-wide calibration service or SARC-wide accreditation board? This also will be discussed, and all the SARC associations, the SARC bodies will be present. The private sector involvement is the key for the conformity assessment. The private sector involvement is key, and you should be proactive, not reactive in that sense. Both regional and national level trade and productive capacity building technical assistance are the prerequisites for meeting the challenges related to technical regulations, and thus for the export success. There is no other way out, linking this productive sector and the conformity assessment infrastructure. This is more and more relevant within the framework of the economic partnership agreements of the EU and the ACP countries, which will be forthcoming.